Everybody, what's happening? It's Joseph R. Wheeler III, artist, founder, president of the ONYXCON Foundation, 501c3 nonprofit arts and creative lifestyle organization. It's the third representing that ATL all day. You know what I'm saying? That Metro ATL, whole sprawl, the whole area and beyond, because we into the world. The world. All right, we into the world. Why am I doing my arms and hands like this? Because it's a round globe, not a flat earth. Yeah, that's for all them other ones that be talking that crazy. You gotta let them know which side of the fence we stand, you know what I'm saying? We are not flat earthers. We are not MAGA maggots. We are not MAGA maggots, okay? All power to the people. Salute to the artists. All about that art life. See, that's how you run out all the trolls. You get rid of them early. You just spray them with all the stuff they don't want to hear. If they curious of what style, what kind of guy you are, what you stand on, what you about, you know what I'm saying? Live and let live. Live and let love. You understand? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Women's rights, men's rights, everybody rights. Love and unity, all right? Live, love, laugh. You know what I'm saying? Stay in your lane. We don't do it for the culture, because there ain't no damn one culture. We do it for the cultures. With a Z or with a S. I made the hashtag. Understand that if you're going to quote it, make sure you quote the ambassador of it, Joseph R. Wheeler III. Say the third put me on game for this. Shout out to ONYXCON. ONYXCON salute. Do it for the cultures. Plural. Yes, we love hip-hop. We are hip-hop. I was born hip-hop. You understand? It's your uncle talking to you. Real uncle, not no slang. A real uncle with real grays in the chin. If I ever die, you saw them when they want, so you know they real. You feel? So yo, let's we're gonna get on topic here. We're gonna get on topic. You know, most of the time I just kind of tangent, flow, go with the flow, freestyle. When I'm live, I just do my thing. Whatever I want to get into, I get into. But today I want to start with a topic. And sometimes I do start with a topic and stick to the topic. It's hard for me because I love to tangent, but we're going to try our best to stay on this one today. And I've mentioned this before, but I want to talk about it in depth. Y'all know I love Cyberpunk 2077. I like all the genre of Cyberpunk. All right, anything that's Cyberpunk related, I'm usually inclined to, you know. And before I even knew what the phrase was back in the 80s when it was established, especially, it didn't start in the 80s. The phrase goes back to like, I think the 60s, the first time it was ever mentioned in a novel. And I need to get all my history of Cyberpunk like ingrained in my head so I can run them facts. In the year, blah, 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 the author such and such and such said, da, 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 da. I want to be like that a little bit, just to get, you know, naysayers up off you, because people don't believe nothing no more. You got to drop them facts on them real quick in the beginning so they be like, oh, damn, you know what you're talking about? Yeah, I know what I'm talking about. I just don't, I got so much in my head, I don't stress myself out, especially the older I get, about trying to prove to somebody I know what I know. But I know what I'm talking about. The phrase is much older than the 80s, you know, the word cyberpunk. But the genre really, really got cooking and got a foundation in the 80s. That can be said with all gumption and all truth. The movie Blade Runner was such an influence on the entire genre that to this day is considered the opus of in cinema of what a cyberpunk world looks like, you know. And it doesn't have to look like that, but because the movie had so much impact, you keep seeing it. You keep seeing it, right? And you got other things like anime like Akira, which for me is one of my all-time favorite anime. But that's me being old school. Y'all youngsters don't even, some of y'all don't even know what Akira is, and or know what it is, but they ain't never sat down to watch it. So, you know, when they get all in their feelings because you don't name their favorite new thing, I laugh. I'm like, how about if you don't even know what Akira is, the hell with your new thing, because it wouldn't have been if it hadn't have been for Akira. It wouldn't have been if it hadn't have been for all these other anime that we grew up on. You understand? But yeah, Akira is absolute classic cyberpunk. Absolute classic, and it's always referenced time and time again for its most famous scenes and lines and everything. It's that type of thing, right? But there was a tabletop game, RPG, role-playing game that you play with friends. You know, roll the dice, set up situations. Somebody's the game master. They read the novel, so to speak. They give you the scenarios. You as players have to react. You have points, you have numbers for your power, for your health, for your everything. and it's very situational. That's role-playing games. And so when I was young, the closest I ever got to that is I always loved the box art and the manuals. I would go in a bookstore just to look at those and be mad about the ones that was wrapped in plastic because I wanted to open that box so bad and see the artwork in those manuals. You know what I mean? That's all I cared about was the illustrations. So I literally tried to play Dungeons and Dragons, I remember one time in middle school. Middle school. Now we officially in the 80s, right? I tried to play it, and I remember me and my friends, that may have lasted about a week with our attention span and hyper kid energy. And but it was fun while it lasted because I was drawing up my own characters and drawing other people's characters, and I was the resident artist, and I've always been a visual artist first, so people love that and they like to see that. So, you know, I used to do that. And then at one point I can remember a later time, probably in high school, again, the desire to want to see those illustrations and everything captured me once more. And I think it was D&D again, Dungeons and Dragons again, that got my attention. And then there was a bunch of other games too, but I remember Dungeons and Dragons, you know, it's grown so much, it's expanded, it's gotten weirder and weirder and went way far beyond just dragons, trolls, elves, king, prince, medieval Europe. I mean, it's so broad with all of the stuff going on in those realms, right? So I started kind of delving into that a little bit. And that influenced a lot of my comic book development as an artist when I was getting into that too, since middle school and into high school. But I say all this to say, I never officially got regular with it. It wasn't even until later, I'd say maybe junior year in high school, I felt confident about myself as a writer to put that as a label I would honorably say, like somebody say, what type of art do you do? And, you know, I'd always start with visual, but I'd also, yeah, I'm a writer too, I'm a poet. Because I was doing that and I was getting love for it. I had a few teachers that let me know, like, you got that thing, keep doing this, you know. And I went from that to, you know, applying it to other things. Like I wrote some novels, all types of stuff in college. But I never seriously got into the whole tabletop thing, but I always liked the part of it that was the writing and, like I say, the visual art elements of it. I like the tangible element. I like the strange looking dice that weren't just 2 square dice that people use in most dice games. You know, no, this is a whole other thing. You got these octagonal, you got this little triangle thing. I remember I bought a set of dice and I still had them things. That's what's crazy. I think I still have them. And I never barely used them. I think I just got them just out of nostalgia. Like, to me, it was like a sign of blurredom before the like all the lyrical mastery and all the references to what's going mad in society. Again, cyberpunk, hello, you know. So I like the music and everything, but I wasn't from no worst neighborhoods. I wasn't from the worst. So when I saw those elements at school, like the kids who would be the worst kids up against a wall playing some dice, trying to get not caught by the teachers and stuff like that. And we had a few hooligans that would do that in high school and stuff. And so to me, like, to have some dice that ain't got nothing to do with that, but to have some other stuff, it's almost like carrying a damn wand in your back pocket. You know what I mean? You don't even go to Hogwarts. You know, you're in public school, but you pull out them dice and be like, this is what I roll, fool. Put a damn dragon spell on your ass, you know? Shout out to all my real ones who understand what I'm talking about. But, you know, it'd be like, yeah, use your luck, it ain't gonna help. I'm gonna deduct 12. You know, all that old talk. And I didn't even know enough of all that, but I knew enough to know if someone was around me and they were into it, I knew they were into tabletop gaming. I knew the lingo, right? But like I said, I never got fully engaged. So by the time, so many years later, Cyberpunk 2077 comes out, it's got rave reviews, then it's got horrible reviews because of the glitches in the game. Shout out to CD Projekt Red for the redemption of what they've done and how that game still has issues to this day. I swear to gosh, I always say my phrase that I based on the Chris Brown lyric, but I flipped it. I say, these glitches is loyal. These glitches is loyal. Them glitches is loyal. I mean, every time I play, there's got to be at least one person standing inside of a door, walking through a wall, some weird coupling of non-playable characters that you're just like, wait a minute, what did I just see over there? And you look and somebody's eating their dinner, but somebody else is standing up on top of them and they're basically inside of each other, and it's just weird as hell. It's hilarious. So, I mean, it's fun, but it's like, yeah, the glitches is loyal is my point. They still there, no matter how many damn patches they do. They can't find them all. It's too many. They can't fix them all. They say they fixed the navigation on the vehicles when you put it in auto drive. Shit, I'm still crashing. I'm still crashing, y'all. It's crazy. It's crazy for real. So it is what it is. You take it for what it is and you go with it and enjoy it if you love it, like I do. And so I always say I married that game. You know what I mean? It's for better or for worse with me and Cyberpunk. So there it is. But the man who made it all possible is Michael Pondsmith, right? A black man from California, grew up, from what I can remember of his bio, military-based home. I know he said his dad was in military, so he grew up around weaponry and understanding tactical and military procedure, etc. And he applied that to his writing passion when he became a science fiction writer. He also applies a lot of his other early life when you read about him and understand where he comes from and what he did. He used to be into a little bit of the nightlife and the street scene because he was in multiple rock bands or garage bands, or I don't want to say punk if that wasn't the genre, but I know rock would apply because he has a character archetype in the game that they call rocker boy. And these are old phrases, obviously, because no one would call somebody a rocker boy these days, but you know, I get it from the 80s time. If he made that up back then, it would have worked easy because this was an era of, you know, it was the beginning of hip hop's popularity. You know, hip hop started officially started in the 70s, been growing way before that, but officially started in the 70s. But as far as established pop music, the 80s, man, you know, whether you were into it or not, you had to hear rock. It was just like rock's era, for real, for real. And you could kind of say that for the 70s too, but especially them 80s. Like for all the other types of music and the break-offs ethnically, where, you know, in my household, what I grew up on, it's old school R&B, soul, funk, period. The closest we got to rock was Jimi Hendrix, maybe a little bit of, I mean, if the TV is on, you're gonna hear it. Like I say, whether you wanted to hear it or not, you heard it. So you cut on MTV, you had all that, and then some. You go to any other, and there weren't that many back then, music video channels or options, you were gonna get it. So that's understandable that he was into that, or from where, especially in California where he grew up. And so it just fits. It all fits is what I'm saying. And so he had a mix of friends, and he grew up in, like I say, loving rock and roll, and so he was in bands and stuff, and I think he said he even played one of the guitars. I forget which one. So Mike's a really layered dude, and I say all this on purpose because it leads into what I really wanted to tell y'all about. I've been watching this series from a company called, I think it's called Archetype Incorporated. Is that it? Damn, I hope I'm saying it right. I really do. I don't want to miscredit them, but they're a company that has a page online, and they cover nothing but role-playing games, tabletop games. They do campaigns, typically with famous guests that are, you know, famous in the world of this type of stuff. So if you ain't into it, you'll be like, who is that? I don't know who that. You ain't got to know. Everybody else who would be into that might know, right? It's that kind of vibe. And Mike is the legend. I mean, he is, I always say, to Cyberpunk, especially for Cyberpunk 2077, in the worlds of, because the thing is, you gotta understand when I say Cyberpunk, it's interchangeable with the genre and the name of the game. These gonks, slang from the game, but these gonks, slang from the game. But, you know, he started all this back then, and I'm saying, the Artel story and what they did and what they're still doing, this is what's so amazing. They're still making games. It's so beautiful that it didn't die, you know, just because they sold partial. So yeah, I had it right. second guessed myself earlier. Okay. Wait on this number to start rolling again. Here we go with that. There it is. Okay. Like I was saying, y'all, it is called Acquisitions Inc. I just had to get my facts straight. I hate to say things and look back later and say, damn, that's not the name of it. Why did I say that? I like my stuff to be tight, you know. But yeah, the name of the company is likely to knock me off in a minute. Notice that YouTube don't let you go too far past 30-something minutes on the line no more. That's about the limit. But anyway, as I was saying, with busting pixels, you know, it's like, you know, bust it, B-U-S it. Damn. Okay. I'm trying to grab an order while I'm talking to y'all, so if I got to get off here, it's because I'm dipping in and out to check status on options, you know what I'm saying? Stuff coming in, you got to hit the buzzer like playing Family Feud. You're like, okay, I got it. Yes, I want that. Damn, somebody else already got it. Yeah. Okay, hold on. I got it. Yes, me. Ridiculous. Gets on my nerves, quite frankly, because I'd rather just have a route every day. Like, look, man, I'm a responsible adult. Give me options of you could do a certain amount of routes per day and always make a certain amount of money. If you want, you can do overtime. That's what I want. I don't know why they don't understand. You got people who would do that if you would make the app. It's one of these apps where everybody just all in at the same time, grabbing them. But that's how you end up with a bunch of newcomers, half-assers, people who ain't really serious about it, just do it on the side, might deliver, might not. Man, you ain't got time for that. Anyway, I don't want to get off on that. That's not what I'm here to talk about. Back to my Halloween party idea, okay? So, and if you're one of my friends in Atlanta and you see this live, holla at me. Holla at me after the fact. Let me know you saw that and you was hype about it and you want to be part of that. Because I'm thinking of the folks I know who would do it, like who would actually come through and have a good time with me. And yeah, man, I just want to turn up. I'm tired of that energy being in the air. Everybody's having a good time, and all I do is wait for the next day and repost everybody else's cool ass Halloween costumes. You know the celebrities show out every year. They have all the big bashes. Like LA is crazy. LA be having the dopest damn Halloween parties. You be like, what? Huh? They go all out. Okay, y'all. Let's see if we can stay on here long enough to finish this thought. So yeah, what I picture is like basically the original idea of the harvest, and it just be like select, invite only type vibe. And people can bring a +1, because if I trust you, I don't mind who else you might bring. I want people to bring some, especially somebody know fine honeys. Like, bring your friend. How many you got? Okay, bring them all. You know what I mean? But it would be a requirement that everybody be a subscriber to ONYXCON for $4.99 a month. That would be your pay in. That would be you paid to get in. Yeah, just like that. That would be it, y'all. That would be your. And this is something I've been brainstorming for a minute. And I just finally today, I think after I saw that, I got hyped, man. I got hyped. I saw that campaign with Mike, and I've been watching this thing for about almost 2 weeks now. And it just looks so fun. They just having a ball, because it's fun to listen to because it's storytelling. And I'm a writer, so I dig that. So my idea would be like, yeah, you do the campaign for about an hour or two, and then the rest of the night, if you take a break, you eat, crank up the DJ. May even have the DJ be part of the will be a part of the session even. Sorry, y'all. You know what I'm saying. I already told you what I'm doing, so I don't want to have to over apologize, but I want to be considerate of how this might end up looking when it comes together. Again, I tell y'all all the time, like, if you support, this is why I tell y'all all the time, the financial support is the difference in the quality of content. If you put some money on it, put the $4.99 over on Instagram or on Fanbase, because you can't do it here yet unless you just do it direct, which you ain't got to wait till we get monetized. We don't have to wait to be monetized. Y'all can deliver some goods today. You can go on our YouTube, you can go on our, our Cash App, # ONYXCON, or you can go on Venmo at ONYXCON. And if you old school, you want to do PayPal, which owns Venmo if you didn't know, it's ONYXCON@gmail.com. our email, which is always our email, okay? And hit us, break us off, 20, 25, 50, 100, something. Because I'm telling you, between now and August, not August, excuse me, we way past August, October 31st for Halloween, I think I'm gonna do this, y'all. I think I'm gonna do this. But I'm gonna put out the word and just kind of test the water and see who really, really real. And see if I can't get some of my hypest cosplayer type folks and fun folks to come through. And we do that damn thing. But I gotta get the game for one thing, so I need the money to buy the game. I need to study up on the game. Then I gotta get my people. If I get no more than 10 people and my DJ, it's a good time. Straight up, it's a good time. But if we get more, great, sure, fine. But the bottom line is, gonna have to have a venue. I'm not dealing with nobody where it's gonna be a favor type situation because, you know, a favor for a favor type situation, which is easy for me because I got a lot of friends. It's just whether or not the space is gonna be available at the time. I'm letting y'all know right now, if you're in ATL, if you like the sound of this, if you can make it to ATL and you want to be a part of this, and you already are a $4.99 subscriber, okay? Then yeah, you might be invited to this private party because it's gonna be invite only. I'm not even worrying about no. It's not even about how much I can make that night. It's more about how many people respect the code of it and have some good times. And yeah, because I'm telling you, that would be fun. That would be fun. You hear me? Yep. That's gonna be fun. That's gonna be fun. And then I'm even thinking about how, oh man, I got so many ideas now. This is really, ooh, my brain is cooking right now. It's cooking with so many good ideas. Like another thing I've done, okay, so when Mike Pondsmith and the Acquisitions Inc. folks doing this campaign, every time they in a situation, let me give you an example, right? So, and I'm not gonna give away because it's worth watching. I'm telling you, it's really worth. If you think you could get into what I'm talking about, if you even possibly think you could get into it, trust me, watch it. You're gonna be entertained, right? There's two baddies too. I mean, one of them's more baddie to me than the other one, but they both cute. They both at least cute. And then, you know, you got the two kind of quirky guys, whatever, but, you know, that ain't my speed, so I ain't talking about them. They irrelevant. It's like this so skinny white dude and this other hefty white guy. And then there's this real skinny mini, but like I say, she's cute, brunette, white lady. And then there's this, oh my gosh, I love her. I got a crush on her. She the thick, curvy type, and I like, she's Indian. Oh my gosh, she's so pretty. She is pretty. She pretty. Yes, she is. And I already flirted with her in the comments on the page. Let her know. We see you, boo-boo. You know, that ain't what I said. But yeah, I did make it known. Mr. ONYXCON himself had eyes for you, boo-boo. If you ain't got no man, you got one here just waiting to meet you. But anyway, she's adorable. She's sexy and pretty. But the thing about her is, one thing about her character smokes, and the way she would get excited about talking about smoking made me wonder if she smokes in real life, because people are going to make a character based on something either they already do, would want to do, or the way because the way she talked about smoking was like, this is what I do in reality, so all I'm doing is making my character do it in extremes. Like, you know, she's flicking her blunt. She kept talking about blunt. She's talking about weed, so she must like marijuana. I'm like, oh Lord, this damn 420 shit. I done dated women before who like weed, but the only one I could ever deal with was one that she do that on her own time. She don't need it all the time. She spent she was from out of town. She spent a whole weekend with me, and she never, I take that back. She did get her one little craving, and we were somewhere and she got some little edibles. And it didn't even hit her. It didn't even give her the effect she wanted, so what's the point? You know, but anyway, I need somebody like that. I can't deal with I gotta puff every day. I gotta be puffing. I can't live that life, and I can't stand that smell. Can't stand it, right? So anyway, she one of them, I think. So that's the only problem I got with her, or might have if I knew if that was her vice, which I'm sure if she loves it would hate to hear me call it that. She's like, what vice? I like what I like. I can just hear somebody saying that, not saying she would have that kind of attitude, but. And she seemed like a sweetheart too. I really like her energy. Anyway, so yeah, between her being my crush that's incentive enough to watch it. Add on the legend Mike Pondsmith is absolutely phenomenal to watch in motion, making up a story as he goes, and he's got an incredible voice. He does voiceover for the game. If you don't know, you hear Mike all throughout Cyberpunk 2077, the video game. He was not only an advisor on his own concept, which he rightfully would be, but he actually participated heavily. So it's always a hoot to me when I'm playing the game and I hear a voice. That's Mike. That's Mike, because he's got about they're all deep voice because he's got a deep voice, but he can make his voice even deeper than his normal tone. He can go from just like, a regular pitch to this like, yes, I told you. He got voice range. It's crazy. And when he does it, it literally sounds like a whole nother person in him. It's nuts. So it's awesome. Mike is amazing, man. The way he makes up stories. It tells you why this game is so good and why the history of this whole world is so good, to hear him talk and how he challenges his players and how he's so particular about every little thing. He's so excellent at giving detail. Again, great writer. He's going to explain the entire environment. He's going to give you nuances of things on a layman's term or advanced, how you want it, but mostly layman to make sure everybody understands, Yeah. So, yeah, it's definitely something to watch. Yeah, it's definitely something to watch just to see how Mike breaks that down. Come on, there it is. Okay, it's definitely something to watch just to see how Mike breaks that down. But I think the other thing great about it is whenever somebody's in a situation that they think with rest, Mike keeps it hot. He'll give you a little bit, just not to make it boring. Like, he'll explain a moment, an intimate moment between characters or something, or intimate history of something, whatever. But he's not going to allow you to think for a minute that it's gonna stay calm. This is a dangerous place. It's always dangerous. It's always keep your head on the swivel. And he's gonna kick you right back into some action of something that might be a threat. And you're gonna have to roll the dice or say what you're gonna do. And I noticed that, because I don't know the rules of the game, but I noticed like you only roll the dice when it comes down to critical scenarios, and it's his decision. Sometimes you'll just say what you want to do, and he'll say, okay, I'll allow that. It's like a judge that just says, okay, I'll allow that in my court. I won't allow that. And it's just like that through the whole process. But it's fun to watch. And every now and then, yeah, people get into arguments, lightheartedly with him, because you don't want to get on the bad side of the dungeon master, because all you're going to do is kill you off as soon as there's the next challenge. You roll a bad, well, your ass is dead. Okay, let's keep going. You gone, fool. You have been talking shit to the man who control all the world. Man, please. You can't do that. And he's fair. He's fair. He actually reminds them of things they may have forgotten that he explained that will help them. Like, guess what? You got this power if you just use it. Oh, that's right. I do have such and such. Okay, yeah, I want to use that. And that, I said, man, it's a memory game too. It's really good for you. Gonna help yourself with your memory. You're gonna help yourself with focus. You're gonna help yourself with retaining strategy and learning to work as a team and all of that, man. It's all that and then some in role playing like this. So yeah, I'm actually intrigued, and it's ironic that it's coming to me this way, because I think all my life I've just kind of put off that being yet another venture I almost considered in my passions, because I'd always wanted to see some of my concepts be made into video games, wanted to see them made into role-playing games. But the best way to do any of that, I play enough video games to know that if anybody approached me and said, yeah, we want to make that into a game, I'm all in, and I'm going to be deep in the process, or we're not making the deal. But when it comes to role-playing, if someone approached ONYXCON or my entity for my comic books when I was doing that, the New Art Order comics, and said, hey, I want to take this and turn this into something, man. I bought this back when you did it in 2005 or whatever, because that's literally when my last book came out. I'd be a little lost for how to engage. I wouldn't be totally lost, but just to be humble, I'd be less inclined than I want to be to understand everything that is currently expected of a role-playing game. And there are standards that people have gotten used to. And you're only going to understand those things if you play. So I want to try it. I want to get into it a little bit. And it's an expensive, you know, it ain't something you buy. It's like anything else, man. These games, they go anywhere from $20-something to shit, a little over 100 to even maybe more. But, you know, once you throw in, if you really get into it and you start painting your characters, your little miniatures and stuff like that, you really get expensive. You know, it can get real extra. And I don't want it to become expensive. I just want to try it. You know, I'd like to get enough investments from all of y'all who would support, who always support, to just invest in a basic, you know, no more than say $50-something box game set and do a campaign. And if I get 5 sessions out of it, that's $10 a session. That ain't bad. And it'd be hard to pull off 1 or 2. So if I got 5 sessions, sit down sessions, and of course I'm gonna make content out of each one, that's worth it, because then y'all get the video. I can make a series out of it. Y'all can see, and it'll be fun. When I tell you fun, because let me tell you something, my friends, we're gonna have an interesting bunch. First of all, it's gonna be a motley crew, okay? You're gonna get a lot of variety. Like we say we do multi-niche content, you're gonna get multi-niche personalities, right? And for the ladies, oh my gosh, I'm gonna have a full buffet of loveliness for you now. I'm talking about from skinny minis to thick love. I mean, it's all there. It's all there. I got them all. I got some pretty big girls, some pretty skinny girls in the middle and all that, and they can all be in there cutting up in some costumes, looking hot and fine and fun. Oh, I can just see it. I can see it, y'all. Oh my goodness. I think I want to do this. We're going to figure it out. Let me know in the comments if you already anticipating it.